Whoa, we are live. Let's go. A little
Hello,
behind. Hey, what's up, Jose? How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know why I'm doing all right? Because of
Alamo Remedy.
AlamoRemedy.com CBD products here for us Texans and everywhere. If you listen across the nation or the world, I don't know if they'll ship across the world, but I know they do it across the nation. It is for Texans by Texans. It is a Texas company. AlamoRemedy.com. A lot of CBD options out there for you. I get it. You can get them anywhere. But what makes Alamo Remedy the best? One, the price. You're not going to beat it. $17.99 for their lotion, tincture, capsules, and their gummies. And then they also have hemp flour, which you can get for $17.99 when you buy two of them. Plus, you're going to save an extra 10% off when you use the promo code UNICORN. That's UNICORN. Unicorn. All right. So get it going. AlamoRemedy.com. They're a great company. The CBD is lab tested, third party tested. It is all free of THC. So you won't get popped for a test if your company still does that. If they are still in 1972, still testing you, drug testing you, you won't get popped. CBD is clean. It's great if you have anxiety, if you have sleep issues, if you've got joint pains. It might help you. Okay. I can't make a claim that it will help you. I'm just saying it's helped me for a lot of different things. It's going to help you hopefully as well. And go check them out. AlamoRemedy.com. Use promo code UNICORN.
Unicorn.
10% off. We do get a cut of the sales. So just letting you know up front, when you do use that promo code, you support the show. All right, let's do this. Jose, we got a busy show. It's Monday. A weekend of nonsense is over. It's me, you, and Jeff Luneau. We're going to get into that interview that was on NBC. Great get, by the way, but everyone is so shocked, like, oh my God, Jeff Luneau's talking for the first time. And I'm like, guys, our guy Ben Ryder had him on already on his podcast, which is really good, by the way. I'm
It
three
is.
episodes. I just finished episode 3, or I'm about to finish it. Man, it is really good.
Shout out to
So
Ben.
yeah, Ben
He
did a
left.
great job.
He left his Sports Illustrated job to do that show full time. He's been literally working on the show full time for 8 months since February. That's when he started. He told me,
It's
and he's
pretty
been
good,
doing
man.
it full time. Yeah, it's really well produced. He has really good producers.
I'm so happy for him. Like on the times that we have met, and then hearing stories from you, like he seems like a really good guy. He seems like a dude that just he's one
Yeah,
of us, and he just happened to predict one of the biggest sports predictions hit for him, right? Like the World
right.
Series cover, and he talks about it as much as such on the podcast. Like he's like, I don't want this attention, guys. I made a prediction, it came true, and that's it. You know, like I don't want to be known as that guy. It's a really good podcast. Check it out. But let's talk about
The
the local. Yeah,
Edge.
The Edge, Houston Astros. It's a really good podcast, but I haven't gotten to the part where Jeff Luneau talks about the cheating. He's just laying out the foundation, and they will get to it eventually, I'm sure, because it's a long series here. But Jeff Luneau talked to KPRC Channel 2 about it. You listened to it before we jumped on. I'm going to listen to it a little bit later. To be honest with you, I don't think there's going to be anything good in there because why would he say something so damning that would change people's opinions about what's happened? The only opinion he's trying to change is a future employers about Jeff Luneau, nobody else, right? Like who at this point is every man for themselves. If you got let go or if you got dinged from that scandal, so I don't expect much, but you've listened to it. Tell us what's in there. Anything good?
So there's small little tidbits. At one point early on, he tries to kind of throw AJ Hinch under the bus when talking about,
Ooh.
uh, God, what was it that he was talking about at the beginning? It was claiming that he never knew and how him and AJ talked all the time and AJ never told him. At the 10-minute mark, he talks about going getting a couple weeks before the report was finally set to come out. He got tipped off by the league of the accusations that were going to be presented towards him. So he put together like a binder worth of evidence, is what he claims. And he took it
Man,
to Rob Manfred. He had a meeting with Rob Manfred. and he claims it wasn't enough. And it was essentially he's saying they burned him, like they needed a fall guy, and despite the fact he claims to have had all this evidence, they still blamed him. He was still the fall guy, and he was still the one who's seen as a ringleader. And to me, like, as I'm hearing him say this, like, doesn't he have grounds for a lawsuit if that's the case? If you have all of this evidence?
Unfortunately, he does not, because in that letter that Rob Manfred sent, he said he was going to hold GMs accountable, and that was it. Like, look, you guys are responsible. I can't hold all the players responsible for this. So a lot of people forget that when they're, tweeting out, not one single player paid a punishment. Well, that's what Rob Manfred, the commissioner, said, that is, if you guys keep cheating, because everyone was doing it, if you guys keep cheating after the Red Sox-Yankees thing, the manager and the GM are going to catch it. You guys are going to get the fall guy. You guys are going to be punished. So if Jeff Luhnow was not aware of what was happening, that's on him. Like,
Right.
You've got to be more on top of it. I'm sorry. Because you had the warning, and that's what the Astros really got in trouble for, is they kept cheating after that letter went out.
In September of 17, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's sort of what it is. Like you mentioned, it's job season, right? So he's trying to get another job. Although from what he says at the end of the interview, maybe that's not in baseball. He's explored other avenues in sports. But yeah, I think if you're an Astros fan, I think it's certainly worth watching. Josh mentions he does say that there was a coach who was using the Apple Watch, so that was a thing also here, which frankly I wasn't really surprised. If the Red Sox and the Yankees got caught doing it, obviously now Luhnow saying the Astros are doing it. It wasn't only those three teams, obviously. So yeah, man, I think it's worth to watch. There's another tidbit I'm trying to remember right at the end. It might have been the thing about him exploring international soccer. And I don't know if you saw what Mark Berman tweeted earlier today
about they were trying to buy the team, right? The Dynamo.
They were trying to buy the Dynamo. Apparently, that was the thing. Him and A-Rod.
Yeah, A-Rod's just on a buying spree right now.
A-Rod just wants a team.
Yeah. So they struck out with who were they trying to buy?
Gosh,
the Mets. They struck out with that. And here's the other thing.
So
A-Rod is one of the scummiest MLB characters ever. Go watch the documentary by the guy who did Cocaine Cowboys and the U. Why am I forgetting his name? Oh, he's such a good I've interviewed him like 3 times. He's a really good dude. Billy Corbin. He made the documentary about A-Rod, and go watch that on Netflix. I don't know if it's on Netflix still. A-Rod is one of the worst dudes. Rob Manfred is one of the worst dudes in sports. Like, these guys are so scummy.
Yeah.
And now look at him. Now he's on Shark Tank. Like, you can rehab your image. That's one thing.
Luhnow also calls people out by name towards the end of it, like Jim Crane, Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell. He calls them out by name. Like, why am I? He basically says, why am I catching the smoke, not these guys? If they were tied in with the club, how am I supposed to be held accountable for knowing and not them? He calls them out by name. Nolan Ryan as well.
Nolan Ryan caught it?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Or maybe it was Reed Ryan. It was Reed or
Ryan.
Nolan.
Yeah, Reed. I was like, no, because Reed left the team. Remember, Jim Crane's son was supposed to start taking over baseball stuff on the business side, and then the scandal happened, and I guess Jim Crane saw that. Wow, everyone hates us. We need a lovable guy back in the front office. And Reed Ryan started doing more things again publicly with the team after he had announced that he was done with them, but he would be there as a what's that word I'm looking for? Advisor, yeah. He was going to be there as an advisor. That was it. But then once the scandal happened, he came back in.
I remember the Topman thing. That's actually the thing I was trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
He claims to have had no ties with writing the initial release. He says that he saw it and knew that it was wrong, but didn't think much of it. It was a lot of, I saw this and this, but I didn't think much of this because I had all these burdens on. I had all these responsibilities as a general manager. He claims to have seen the Topman thing, and knowing as he was reading it that it was wrong, but he still okayed it, which
I know for sure the Todman thing, that was not from Luno. That was not from Jim Crane. I know from what I've heard, it was from somebody, and they thought that was the right move, and it was a PR disaster.
oh,
Yeah,
clearly
obviously,
it was a
like
PR
clearly a
yeah.
PR disaster, right? And then the PR disasters continue all the way up until spring training, right? When the players first spoke, that was a bad idea. That was a terrible idea. So, man, the Todman one was, I think that, so there's two things in my opinion that really started everyone dissecting the Houston Astros. Number one, the sign stealing scandal, the day it broke, and I have this on my YouTube channel, like the actual timeline. Why did Mike Fiers decide to go public with it a month after the season? It was because AJ Hinch, remember with the Yankees series, is like publicly going, oh, they're throwing stuff up against us about stealing signs and this and that. And he was so arrogant about it. Like, we forget about it. AJ Hinch was super arrogant about the Yankees accusing the Astros. And if you were a former player that knew all this and you didn't like the team, I'm watching that. I'm going, oh, really, AJ? Really? Like, okay, now we're going to go public with this, right? Because if it was truly about what Mike Fiers said in the Players Tribune article, or not the player, the Athletic article was, you know, like guys are losing their jobs and this and that, then you should have said it immediately after you were traded, because guys' jobs could have been lost, right? So to me, it was that one moment, and then the Todman stuff took it to the next level. Look, Jeff Luhnow is not liked in baseball. Okay, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. He is not liked from baseball purists. A lot of people don't like the fact that he openly, you know, tanked the season, a bunch of seasons to get the draft picks and rebuild, and that was the plan and all that stuff. People didn't like that. People don't like the fact that Jeff Luhnow's arrogant as well. Like, he was super arrogant, right? Like, he's the smartest guy in the room. He hangs out with the smartest people in the room. He has the brain trust. He has the, what was it? The decision.
The Diamond Dogs.
His Diamond Dogs.
Yeah,
his Diamond Dogs. No, but in Ben Ryder's podcast, like Sid Meidel and all those guys.
I thought you were making a callback to Ted Lasso.
No. This was a legit callback to the podcast. But it was like a decision committee or actionable committee or something. It was a ridiculous name for the quote unquote nerds, right? So people just don't like him. And when the Todman stuff happened, one, it was incredibly wrong, and two, it just gave everyone open season rights on, oh, let's go public with all of our Jeff Luhnow stories as well. Yeah. So it was not, you know who actually, the day after the Todman stuff broke, or it was, I think it was like literally the Monday after, right? Because that happened on a Saturday night, the Yankees home run. Yeah. And then Monday it was on to the World Series and getting ready for that. I was actually talking to Ben Ryder. He was in studio. Do you remember that? He was in studio for a bunch of interviews, and he was like, so what do you think about this Todman stuff? And I was talking to him about it. I was like, man, if it's true, then that dude, I mean, you just got to get rid of that dude right now. And then that day, the press release comes out as well, and they look even worse. But it was just one of those things. It's like, man, what a disaster. And that was open season. It was on. After that, the Astros went from beloved players to this organization is toxic. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And as you alluded to, it continued into spring training after the scandal was out, after Jeff Luhnow and AJ Hinch had been fired. The written statements that they had Altuve and Bregman give out that were bad and bland as it was. And then Jim Crane sitting down and talking to the media for 30 minutes and having no accountability whatsoever. And he just seemed very it was tone deaf. That's what it was. It was tone deaf. He couldn't read the freaking room. And you're right. Like, it was just an explosion of just miscommunication and just inability to look. I didn't take many PR classes in college, but we can sit here and have a conversation about how they totally approached that the wrong way. They botched the hell out of that.
But you didn't have to take a PR class to learn from history in baseball. Okay, like it comes down to this: baseball writers, baseball fans, the media, all these people, they're so fickle because as long as you apologize, things are going to be okay, right? A-Rod. A-Rod, I guess, eventually apologized and moved on, and he's okay. The number one example I'll always bring up is Andy Pettitte, right? Because you have two case studies to look at. Roger Clemens, who was not backing down, who was like, I'm innocent, I'm going to court, we're going to do this, and I'm going to be really aggressive about this. And Roger Clemens, outside of Houston, he's out. Like, he is not. Roger Clemens should be doing Sunday Night Baseball right now. Or he should be in a position where he is managing, or he's a great pitching coach, or he's doing something in baseball. He's outside of like Skeeter's games, you don't hear from Roger Clemens. Andy Pettitte is the other example. Two guys, the same report, same situation, teammates, New York Yankees, all that stuff. Andy Pettitte comes out, apologizes. He's like, look, man, I did it. Broom, that was on me. I apologize. And cool. They move on. Everyone just moves on. Because the more you bring, the more attention you bring to it, guess what happens? People are going to start dissecting you even more.
Right.
And Andy Pettitte was like, my bad. Yep, I did it. I'm out. You know what? Let me pitch again. And he did. Boom. Like, I don't even see Roger Clemens. Yeah, he's not even at UT alumni games. I'm dead. I haven't seen him anywhere but in Houston. Like, everyone just cut ties with him. And that sucks. He's the greatest pitcher of my generation. It's incredible. And now he's just another guy. So that's baseball for you, man.
How long do you think it takes for this tide to turn then? If your theory is true, a decade?
I don't know. Because
this feels worse than the steroid stuff.
Oh yeah, it feels way worse. Because,
and maybe it's because we're so close to it, and this is the team we root for. But it just feels way worse.
It might not change until Jim Crane sells the team, and I don't think he's not going to sell the team
at any time soon. No.
Because the players, I mean, unless you get rid of everybody that was ever associated with it, it's tough, right? Like, you're not going to get rid of Altuve. You're not going to get rid of Correa just because people don't like it, you know. And all you say to those people is like, hey, okay, we did cheat to start 2018, and then we stopped. By the way, there's no evidence that shows that we cheated in 18, 19, or this season, and we got to the ALCS all those years, World Series one time out of those years, and you were one AJ Hinch decision away from winning the World Series. So it's, you know, like, those players, like, hey, we're still really good. We can still hit.
By the way, put a pin in that AJ Hinch decision, because now there's another layer to that onion.
Yep.
Via Zach Greinke. But yeah, I mean, everyone who's a fan of the Astros needs to watch that interview. I think it's crazy, man. I don't know what words to put to it other than Ruben asked if other teams were exposed. No. That's not what he was.
That was some shady editing for Twitter, by the way.
It was. That's not what he was trying to do. He's trying to get another job.
Yeah. So NBC tweeted out the little snippet, the trailer for it, and it made it seem like he was throwing everyone else under the bus, like all the other teams. And that, I knew that wouldn't happen, right? Because I'm sure if he ever wants to work in sports again, you don't do that, because, you know, Manfred has said it, like, guys, stop, enough, no more throwing everyone under the bus. Let's just move on from here. And the Astros are the ones that caught it, unfortunately. Yeah. That's why I don't think that letter is ever going to come out. I don't think we'll ever see that Yankees letter, because baseball just wants to move on. You know what they don't want? More cheating stuff. It doesn't help their sport. A sport that's already struggling, it does not help them.
Right.
So it's crazy. Okay, let's talk about the current Houston Astros. Man, that one hurt. I was heartbroken.
Let's tier who we feel the most for. Like, I guess name 5 people and tier them on who your pain level. I don't know if you want to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or.
No, let's go the most painful. I feel the worst for Dusty Baker.
Of course, Dusty has to be
without a doubt. Without a doubt, right? Because he was so close again. He rallied this team. He was gonna be, and he actually did a really good job, man. Like, with the mental stuff,
right?
And all of his moves worked out, which was crazy. Every single move worked out except for Lance McCullers starting Game 7. Maybe
But
he wants that one back, but you know what? How many strikeouts did Lance actually end up with? Was it 9 or 10? Like he gave up 3 runs, man. It sucks. Yes, but your offense has to pick it up a little bit as well. I think that's the only decision. Like, do you think he wanted to start Urquidy? Like, if you could have it back?
I don't think Lance was the wrong guy to start there. Like,
Yeah.
it was his turn, and it just so happened he made some mistakes, and frankly, like, maybe they should have won one of those first 2 games. The Altuve error that led to the 3-run bomb in Game 2 specifically is the one I think that maybe they should have won, and you never get to a Game 7. But Dusty's definitely at the top of my list. Correa's probably my 2.
I've got Bregman second.
Why?
Because that was as bad as I've ever seen him play.
So you don't feel bad for him. You're pitying him.
No. I feel bad for him, dude. When you're as arrogant as Bregman has been publicly, and like we all talk about Altuve, it's been rough for him with the cheating scandal and all that. Bregman hasn't been the same, like, media guy. Yeah, like he hasn't been Bregman. His play was okay in the regular season. It was fine. It wasn't third in most valuable player award, but this Bregman at the plate and like some of the breaks he was catching, it was rough, dude. That looked really bad. It looked like worse than rookie year Bregman. And remember, that was really bad. That was he was getting in fights with radio people bad. That's how bad it was for him. Remember? So that's AJ. AJ. So that's why I'm putting Bregman number 2. But I can live with Altuve at number 2. Although he had a good series.
He had a really good postseason. He was really good in the postseason. He was bad in the regular season.
Yeah. Correa
was my 2. Correa was my 2.
Okay.
Because
he did great. He backed up everything he said.
That's exactly why. Like, I feel bad that he wasn't able to lead them to the ring. He pushed Bregman aside, and he's like, I got this. I'm the vocal leader. I'm going to talk mess about ESPN while they're running our games about how they're not giving us enough credit. And people were crying about that afterwards, media people. I'm going to get in Framber Valdez's face and tell him to get his bleep together because we got to win this damn game like the real leader that I am. I'm going to hit a freaking walk-off home run the game before. I'm going to score the only 2 runs in a Game 7. Like, I feel terrible for him.
I feel great. Like, if there's one person whose stock rose the most, it was Carlos Correa.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So how can he be the biggest gain and the worst in terms of, like, feeling bad for him?
Because I wanted him to win the AL MVP, which he would have won if they won if they won Game 7.
Sammy says, I don't feel bad at all because it was all about the journey and the memories we made along the way. And hey, in the end, we're all still really good friends. # tweet like phony Raheel.
Phony ass Raheel.
You want to see the ultimate example of phony Raheel?
I just saw a Jeff Luhnow interview that was 30 minutes long. That was phony Jeff.
Yeah.
They took a page right out of the phony Raheel playbook.
No, unfortunately that is Jeff Luhnow. Jeff has always been like this. Everything you're describing, I'm gonna go watch it. And I'll have more thoughts on Twitter. Jeff has always been like this. That dude is super arrogant. Dude, when you're that smart, you're allowed to be arrogant. Okay, like, I'm sorry. That dude he's brilliant, right? But here's your ultimate example of phony Raheel.
What did you do?
So if you go on Instagram, it's the same picture with 2 different captions. Okay.
Oh,
so
Lord.
On Instagram, it's the picture I posted today. It's just like a post-workout picture I took last week.
Wait, on your Finsta or on your Insta?
No, on my Insta, not my private account. That's why I don't even bring that up anymore because I don't want people searching it out.
Venmo me $5 and I will give you exclusive access to his personal Instagram where he posts pictures of his dog and his daughter.
No, I had to like go and clean that account out. It took forever. So it says
$5.
Raheel doing things. My Instagram aesthetic is hard work, son. Boom.
# Richmond. # Houston. # Sugarland. # Fort Bend. # go vote. # fitness. # fake deep thoughts. There wasn't even a fake deep thought.
Exactly. That's Instagram, baby. And then on Twitter, it's here's my phony. It's same picture, and it just says, "Just thinking about how I'll need to think of a clever caption for this fitness thirst trap."
First of all, it's not really a thirst trap. You're not showing your wagon, which is your selling point. You're not showing any skin, any provocative skin, I should say. I don't really think it's a thirst trap. Like,
no, it's a fitness thirst trap.
this is not a thirst trap. This is you just sitting on a field with a cone and soccer cleats on.
No, it's a fitness thirst trap. Not a thirst trap. It's a fitness thirst trap. Like, hey, fitness brands. Hey, fitness brands. You want some of this?
Hey, Lululemon.
Hey, Lululemon. Nah, I tag him in everything. So, okay. So, Astros, I felt bad. So, number 2, Correa for you. Altuve's up there as well.
Altuve's my 3.
I feel bad for Brantley. I really wanted him to get a ring as well. Like, for everything he's done for this
he's
team.
Coming back. He's coming back.
I hope so. I don't hope so. From what James Click was making it sound like, the Astros are going to be poor next year. And and all of baseball might be really, really poor next year. So I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Springer because they're coming off of Springer's. This is his first mega deal, and Brantley's coming off a great resurrection. They might not get market value, unfortunately, because of the cap. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to.
That sucks, dude. George Springer got screwed with the call-up stuff early in his career. It started his clock late, and that's why he's going to be 31, hitting free agency for the first time because the Astros screwed him. And now Brantley resurrects his career, one of the best hitters in the game, and they're not going to get market value. That sucks. I feel bad for him.
Maybe that means Springer's staying.
He should. He should stay one more year because the CBA is up at the end of this year.
It is.
And I heard Adam Wexler talking about this. So if it's up, 790, what's up? I listen to them.
Oh my!
After I'm done listening to the morning show. So, but listen, everyone. Do you want me to give a shout out to every single person I listen to?
I mean, if you want, we've got time.
Okay, so here's my schedule, my morning radio schedule.
Lord.
No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna do that. I don't want people texting me like, oh, you didn't give us any love.
You don't listen to my show?
Hey, you listen to my show, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, what was I saying? Yeah, the CBA is up next year, so like you might as well just wait and see what the new cap looks like. See what else is out there. Like, just take a 1-year deal, but run it back. There
has been those years where players aren't getting. Last year this wasn't the case, but a couple years ago there was that year where every owner was just like, nope, we're not paying you. Nope.
That was a Bryce Harper year. The Bryce everyone was waiting for the big Bryce Harper deal, and eventually he did get a monster deal.
But no, there was. It's happened a couple instances now. It was after the Royals. The Royals had the free agents and Hosmer and who's the other infielder for the Royals who were free agents and had to take like 1-year deals. Mm-hmm. Like it's been happening a lot. Josh Donaldson took like 2 1-year deals in his last 2 deals. It's like a guy like Josh Donaldson had to take a prove it deal with the Braves last year. Like it's just baseball contracts are already stupid as it is, and you're right, the pandemic just adds a whole nother layer to it.
Okay, so anything else in sports before we move on to everything else in life?
I think someone wanted your thoughts on the Texans game.
Oh yeah.
Are you mad at Romeo today?
No, I loved it. If you for real want a huge football breakdown of that, this is where I plug the No Layups podcast. Actually, no, you can find it on Periscope. You can't find it on iTunes because I didn't put it up. Or you can go to ABC 13's YouTube page and you'll find it there. It's only video because the post game shows are 25 minutes. I don't put them up on audio side. But we did like a breakdown, like discussing all sides of that decision. I loved it. Okay, just to sum it up, I absolutely loved it. Like that was a great call. It didn't go your way. Your defense let you down twice. You were also like kicking the extra point. We're just assuming that Kaimi is gonna make it because he had just missed an extra point in that game. You know,
so there was a similar instance in the Washington and Giants game where at the end of the game the score was 20-19. The Washington football team was down by a point, and Ron Rivera decides to go for 2 so they could take the lead, and they don't score. And afterwards, obviously, they ask him about it, And he made a really good point, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember it exactly, but it was something along the lines of, I can't tell these guys we're going to be a winning football team if we don't try to actually win these games and make game-winning plays, which is what we always said about O'Brien, right? It was stale. It was boring.
Yeah.
Let Deshaun cook. Let the offense cook. Let the offense run free.
Yo, if you were criticizing going for 2, then you're publicly criticizing him going for on 4th down, right? Right? Because then it's either way. It's a 1-possession game at that point. Like, who cares? Right? Either way, they're going to have to score a touchdown. So why even go for the 4th down conversion there, where Deshaun makes a great play, Cobb ends up with a great catch, and they go up, and that's where you decide to go for 2. I love that, man. That defense got rolled. You're telling me that defense was going to stop a Derrick Henry 2-yard rush? Nope. Wasn't going to happen. So
the defense that had already given up a 94-yard touchdown.
And a defense that gave up 200-plus yards to Derrick Henry. Like, you're not going to stop him. Okay, there's a reason he went for it, because that defense, although they forced the turnovers, the interception by Roby, which set up that game extending drive, that was a great interception. The block field goal, the JJ sack fumble, those are great plays, but at the end of the day, you still gave up 600-plus yards. Ryan Tannehill carved you up on the game-winning drive. 150 with 1 timeout left, and you couldn't do your job once again. I tweeted this yesterday. I hope there's an alternate universe out there where Deshaun wins games and the defense doesn't let him down, because it seems like that is a story of his career so far. Deshaun does everything, and the defense lets him down.
I think if you wanted to make it as layman and as basically black or white as you want with this whole debate, is the way Deshaun threw that joking fit that rolled his eyes when they lost the coin toss. He knew he wasn't getting on the field in overtime. Yeah. He knew they were going to come down the ball and they were going to come down the field and score.
So I'm sure he'll be asked about that, because nobody asked him after the game, because I don't think it went viral until later on. But I'm curious about that, because it seemed like was it Derrick Henry on the other side? Who was it?
Was Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill? Man, it didn't look like Ryan Tannehill. It looked like they had a joke between themselves. That's what that reaction looked like to me. Like they were joking about something, and
so you think it wasn't about that?
I don't think it was about. I don't think it was about the money. Team. Yeah. Okay. I think it truly was like those two were joking about it, because even you see whoever the coin toss was, Ryan Tannehill, you see his reaction as well. He's like laughing, like, yeah, I got you. It wasn't a serious coin toss. So maybe it was, but to me, like when I first saw it, it was just funny because it looked like those two had a joke going on.
Josh makes a good point. The Brable 12 men on the field to stop the clock. And then him just refusing to answer a question about it today.
That was pretty good. And somebody was like, well, why'd he throw a fake fit about it? Well, because the Texans would have declined the penalty then. So you got to make it look really like, hey, this is happening.
Yeah.
So that was a brilliant move by him. For those of you that don't know, it was like 3:40 left in the game. Texans have the ball. Instead of wasting a timeout, he told some kid, like, go on the field right now. And they got a 12-man on the field penalty, which stops the clock. You lose 5 yards. And the clock stops in a pivotal moment, right? Like end of game, you need to conserve your timeouts, and that was a good move. Like you give up the 5 yards, who cares?
Yeah,
it's 5 yards. And he did that last year as well in a game, because Warren Sharp tweeted about it, and he did it last year in a game. The team got a first down, and they eventually ended up punting, so it didn't even hurt them.
So it didn't hurt them yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it did hurt. I mean,
in the end, but they won. So
yeah, they won, but it didn't hurt them in the fact that they had an extra 40 seconds, right? So there's a huge difference between 150 and 1 timeout and 110 and 1 timeout left in the game. So, that was a wild game, man. It was fun to watch, and it was actually fun rooting for the Texans.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I'm there. Like as long as Bill O'Brien, I said it. As long as Bill O'Brien's not there, I'm good. I'm all on board. Okay. Now we're running out, so we're at 35 minutes, so let's go through other stuff.
Ooh, that's too much sports. We did too much sports.
Way too much sport. It was a really sportsy show, which is funny because I'm tired of watching sports. That was my next thing. I'm not going to watch the World Series. I'm not going to watch Monday Night Football. I'm tired of watching sports. Like,
you don't have the game on?
No, I don't. I'm in my bedroom.
The Cardinals are up 21-0.
Whoa! Spoiler alert!
You
Wow.
weren't going to watch
No,
it,
I
or
know.
did
There's
you have
no
it
way.
taped?
No. The
you
Chiefs
want to
ended up
see?
winning.
You want to see Andy Dalton come back?
Nope. I don't want to see Andy Dalton ever. the only place I want to see Andy Dalton is if I'm in Katy and I'm at the Trader Joe's and I'm like, hey, there's Andy
Oh,
Dalton.
there's Andy Dalton.
Hey, aren't you Andy Dalton? Yeah. There you go. That's the
Hey,
only time I want to see him. So I'm tired of watching sports, and that's why I've been watching F is for Family. And Josh, great call on this one. F is for Family is the cartoon show Bill Burr has written, produced, animate. Like he's done everything. He voices a dad's voice on there, and other characters as well. It's set in 1972. We assume it's Massachusetts, right? Because
isn't it post the Vietnam War?
yeah, post Vietnam War. It's awesome. You haven't started at all, right?
No, yeah. I think wasn't I. I thought I was the one that told you that you might enjoy
No,
it.
Josh told me
We
to.
we talked about it last week on the
Okay,
show.
so you have seen it. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
I've seen like the first six or so episodes, and I started
Oh, that's
rewatching
it.
it. I started
That's it. My bad.
rewatching the show around the time you started watching it again, but I only watched the pilot again.
Are you at the point where the closeted husband is introduced to the show?
I don't think so.
Okay. See, that's why I was confused because you were like, hey, easy on the spoilers there. It is one of the funniest shows because it's like King of the Hill, except it's super graphic, super aggressive, curse words. I mean, they just show a lot of shaft as well, like unnecessary shaft. You know,
That's
like,
why you
hey,
enjoy it so much.
I'm like, hey, I didn't want to see this. But there's also really good observations about where we were as a country. Like they make fun of it, but it is so crazy to watch. And you go, oh yeah, that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
So it's a really funny show. And again, do you know how I know it's really funny? Because my wife hates it. So
Oh, jeez. So it passes the test?
it passes the test, and she watches it every night with me because she's on the couch with me reading her Kindle, and
Does
I'm
she roll
watching,
her eyes?
and she's just like, "What are you watching?"
Why are you
She's
still
always like-
watching this?
and I'm like, "Cause it's so." And then I have to like, I feel bad because there's some like super aggressive jokes in there, and my
You're-
wife still like my wife thinks I'm a great guy still, so I'm like, "Oh man."
This buddy.
I hold my laughter in. I'm like, I shouldn't laugh at this. I'm gonna bite my tongue. Don't laugh. Because if she sees me laughing at this, it's gonna break her perception of me, and I don't want that
Buddy.
to happen.
You've been together long enough for that perception to have already been broken. Come on now.
No. See, like, dude, the back end of season 1 and early season 2.
I don't think I got that far.
Oh my god! Just wait, Jose.
Did you get to
so damn good?
Did you get through the part that I told you last week about
Which one?
the
Just say it.
the Holocaust surviving neighbor that they think
Yeah.
is a Nazi? Last week I said I thought they thought he was an someone who worships
Anarchist,
the devil,
yeah, like an
anarchist, but no, they think he's a Nazi,
Dude.
and they think that the serial number that obviously they had was the amount of kills he had.
Yeah. It's stuff like that because you go, oh my gosh. And when you told me about that, I was like, ooh, okay, this show's going to be like that. That's like the least funny thing about the show now that I'm 3 seasons in. Man, just wait till you get the closeted husband part.
How many seasons are out? 4?
4.
Okay.
4. And then wait till the part like you just see how they treat women in the show. Man. And these are like accurate depictions of where America was not too long ago. So, yeah, the homeless kids are really funny. Every character in that show, you go, oh, you can make a case that this is the funniest character. So the show is called F is for Family. It's on Netflix. I've been telling all my neighbors as well, so we can like talk about it. So
I love you, neighbor.
Hi, neighbors.
I got a new show recommendation for you.
Yo, so make sure you guys watch it because we'll be referencing that show a lot on this podcast in the upcoming weeks.
Yes, Josh.
It's our new crush.
It is based in a post-Pearl Harbor world.
In a post-Pearl Harbor world. It's the stupidest Nathan for you reference. Schools have reopened in HISD. Any thoughts on that?
That was today, wasn't it? Oh, I need to check on my cousin. She teaches in HISD. I just remembered.
This is going to get interesting. I saw that there's one leading expert. that said the next 6 to 12 weeks are about to be the worst that we're about to go through. So
That's
everyone just
great.
be safe, please. Do what you can to stay safe. Okay.
So on Thursday night, my cousin who works for HISD told me. No, I'm sorry. On Wednesday night, she texted me to tell me that they were planning to start on Monday, and that most of her students didn't know that was the case.
What?
So they were leaving the administration at her school was leaving it up to her to inform all of the parents that it was starting on that following Monday, which is today.
What is?
And she was really
don't they have
frustrated
to
with
opt
that.
in? I thought every parent has to opt in their kids. It's not like just come back because I have a friend who works for HISD in their media communications department, and I was just getting some of the stats. It's
So
like
no,
60% have come back, 40 are still opting out.
right, but they need those. Some kids need to be assigned to different classrooms because
Yeah.
there's a limit of amount of kids that are allowed into the classroom. And at Wednesday night,
Limit, quote unquote,
right, limit
yeah,
quote unquote.
Yeah.
On Wednesday night when she sent me that message venting, that had not been assigned yet. The kids, as of Wednesday night, Thursday was the last time we talked about it. There was kids who didn't know where their classroom was going to be on Monday when they returned to school.
I can tell you from somebody that I'm really close with that teaches. He told me he's like nobody's social distancing, guys.
Of course not.
They're not shutting down schools. They're just if there's a case or anything happens, they'll just contact trace and then hope for the best. That's what everything is now, right? Like you just hope for the best because this is just where we are, man. This is just where we are. So, unfortunately, the only phrase I can say here is it is what it is. And you just hope that none of the teachers, especially the teachers that have been there and have sacrificed their whole life for teaching, that they don't get it. There was one in Hodges Bend. One of my neighbors was telling me. I haven't read up on it, so I could be wrong. But an older teacher did pass away from COVID-19. So, like, it's going to happen, guys. So just be careful, man. Ugh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So there's that. This is at an all-time, by the way, confirmed from somebody that works in the industry. This is the worst it's ever been with political mailers. Have you been getting bombarded with political flyers in your mail?
I actually got a letter today from, God, I didn't see where it came from, but I was so confused because it was handwritten, and it was from the Democratic Party, the Capitol in Austin. And they it's like a flyer sheet that it's almost like a sheet that you'd have in high school, right? Where it has, "Hi, my name is blank," and someone filled it out with their name. And I vote in Texas because I live here, and the reasons that I vote are blank, and someone wrote it out with their hand, and at the end they signed it with their first name and the initial for the last name. I got that in the mail today, and I was like, "What? Dude, why am I getting this? I'm voting." Like,
I'm surprised that's your only one. Like literally every day in the suburbs here, we have between 8 to 12 of those.
Like, you mean the type that I got, or like the
flyers?
the
we've got
Crenshaw
everything.
flyers? Because I've gotten plenty Dan Crenshaw flyers.
In his district, that's why. But we all know who you're voting for. What's up, SEMA? Shout out to SEMA. We've been getting so much crap, and I wish there was a way to opt in at the beginning of an election cycle. You just go, you just tell them like, "Hey, how much are you going to spend on me?" Right? Like per person, how much are you going to spend? Because these flyers aren't free. Okay, nothing is free. So let's say they spent. I'm thinking off the top of my head, they probably spent $80 a person, maybe $90 a person, right? Sending all this out. So many. I mean, it's just so many. You tell them like, "Hey, I'm gonna let you know who I'm voting for. Like, you guys are good in my book. I'm voting for you. Do not send me this stuff. Instead, send the $80 to me that you've allocated for me. Yo, I'll just buy the vote. Just buy here. You want to buy my vote? Instead of hitting me with all of these flyers, send me a check for $40. Let's go cut it in half. Send me 40. Don't send me any more crap. Don't text message me. Don't target me on Facebook. Here it is, and that's it. Like, that's it. I'll vote for you. We're good.
The texts are also really aggressive. I've gotten two this afternoon. And there's we've got 2 comments on that. Josh says that he just gets the he's confirming what you're saying. He gets the text and the calls. And Sammy with the gem of that T-Mobile built-in spam blockers working harder than LeBron in the fourth quarter.
I've been getting so many.
It ain't working that hard. My spam blockers like James elimination game James Harden.
Oh no,
that's how my that's how my ad block my spam blocker is, because I get them all day.
As soon as I don't even read the text anymore. If it just says, "Hey,
I'm so and so," yeah,
I'm so and so, I just go. I don't delete it. I just say either no or unsubscribe. Just respond to them because they take you off the list. Ever since I started doing that, the messages have gone down. Because it's public information, right? Because I asked somebody one time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna respond to you. I said, hey, how'd you get my number? And the person responded like, hey, it's just from a public database that we have. And I was like, well, what do you mean? I didn't want my information in there. And like, unfortunately,
calm down, Ron Swanson.
Yeah, like when you register to vote, guess what? It's public, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, how do I get off of this? And they said, just unsubscribe. Tell us to unsubscribe, and we'll take you off of the list. So I haven't gotten but maybe one all week because I've been unsubscribing every one. So do that if you guys are getting annoyed. Maybe some people like the attention. They're like, oh, look, another text message. I love this. The Facebook stuff doesn't bother me as much anymore because
I don't really get on Facebook that much.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I just whatever. I just ignore it now. So but I know from somebody that works in that industry.
Oh.
That this is the worst political flyer year he's ever seen. He's like, it's never been this bad. This is a guy that works in it. So
because there's so many people using the flyers to kill bugs?
I don't know.
Is that why?
And you saw the record numbers, right? Harris County, Austin, everyone. They've like reached 50% of the people that voted in 2016. They've already hit that number.
Wow.
And we're only 6 days into early voting. We still have until October 30th. So make sure you go early vote like on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. That's probably the best time. You don't want to wait too late. So because it's going to be this is going to be the biggest election year I can remember in my life in terms of total numbers.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys do it. Okay. Got that Amazon Prime Day. What'd you pick up? Anything good?
Not a damn thing.
What? You didn't get a Bluetooth scale?
No, I don't need that. I already have one. And I don't use it because I disappoint myself every time.
You didn't get a massage gun or maybe a cold brew kit?
I already have a cold brew kit that I bought based off your recommendation.
So I tweeted. I've told you guys this last week. I'm in the Amazon influencer portal, so I can like send out links like Fat Kid.
How does that work, by the way? Can you tell me how that works?
Yeah, I'll explain.
Are you allowed?
Yeah.
Like on the can you say it on the podcast on the record?
Yeah, I've told you the numbers. I'm going to be open about this because this is so fascinating to me.
Did Amazon reach out to you like, hey, Raheel, we like your content?
No, the way it was literally they run ads for the influencer program, and I guess there's like certain benchmarks you got to meet to be approved. So, like fortunately that blue check mark on Twitter gets you in a lot of doors because people love that, right? So I filled out an application and gave all my social profiles. It got approved. And I just have like a little dashboard where I literally search the product that I want to link and I create a link and it has my influencer code built in and I just tweet it out. That's it. So on Amazon Prime Day, I tweeted out the Bluetooth scale, the massage gun I use, and all these random things, right? The mic that I'm using. And it ended up with a lot of clicks. Like a lot of people clicked on it. 33 people purchased something. Okay, 33 purchases. All right, from one tweet. Literally, all I did was promote it one time. And guess how much money I got off of those 33 purchases?
$300.
No, lower.
$33.
Lower.
$3.
Higher. $10. It's terrible. Like it's a terrible referral program.
Hey dog, why you ousting it? First of all, this is a good reminder of why that day earlier this summer, where the blue check marks were pretty much vanished from Twitter, why that was one of the most glorious days in social media history. You guys lost everything for about an hour and a half.
It was the cleansing we needed, though.
It was a wild time.
It was to remind. I was texting all my fellow blue checkmark people like, Wow, the pores are still on social media. Well, look at them. Like, this is so embarrassing. And there was no way I was refreshing it like frantically, like, oh my God, my Twitter's broken. This is the only thing I
Yes, you
have.
were.
I know
Yes,
I
you were.
was. I know I was. I picked up a Bluetooth speaker. I've been on a hunt for a really good Bluetooth speaker ever since I lost mine, and I finally found a good one. I'll post about it.
R.I.P.
I'll give you guys a link to this Bluetooth speaker I
No,
found.
thank you. I'll just look for it myself.
Yeah, I got it for $20. I could have gotten it for $9, but I didn't pull the trigger fast enough. So yeah, there's my
Do you have it
Amazon
on you right
Prime.
now?
No, it's in my garage.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's 36 watts. It's loud, good bass. It has a built-in charger as well, so you can charge your phone while you listen to it. Yeah, I got you. I'm not gonna tell you the name. If you guys want it, follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna just give it up for free anymore. I want my 30 cents off of the purchase. That's what it's so. I hate it so much. Okay, so those are all the topics that I have. Space Jam 2, the rumored plot. Do you want to go over this without looking it up? Because we both read it, but now let's
First
see if
of
we
all,
remember it.
Before we get into it, you were actually the one who brought it to my attention. This was out. Did it make you more excited or less excited for the movie?
Less excited.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm all the hell in.
Less excited.
I am all like I am all the way in.
You're excited because of the characters, right? Because it's basically it's going to be an alternate universe where
it's going to be like a live action episode of Animaniacs, which is getting it's coming back next month on Hulu. Yeah, they
new episodes or just
new episodes.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
You totally missed that. That was last Sunday.
Yeah, I totally missed that.
Yeah, so that's what it kind of sounds like a live action episode of Animaniacs with LeBron James and Bronny James in it.
Oh, look, Hefe just got kicked out of the podcast.
It's about space, Jose. Raheel's going to cry anyway. That's a good point.
You guys are the worst. That's so mean.
Since that Apollo 11 movie makes you cry all the time.
It's not Apollo 11. It's not all your jokes that you guys are going to hit me with. It's Interstellar, Christopher Nolan's best work. Okay, that's what it is. So basically,
Star Wars: The Great Awakening. I don't think that's a real movie.
Jam, no, that's not. The Great Awakening is though. Basically, it's space. Here's what happens in Space Jam. What I remember.
Okay.
So LeBron and Bronny.
We don't know if it's Bronny.
Okay, one of the sons. LeBron and a son of his. They're at the Warner Brothers Studios, and one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden they're in an alternate universe where there's like it's basically Ultron takes over. The Warner Brothers equivalent of Ultron, a computer generated program, creates this like alternate universe, and Bronny gets lost in it, and LeBron has to now go win a basketball game against AI. Not Allen Iverson, but artificial intelligence. Is that a good summary?
I think so. You missed Mahershala Ali's in it. He's the main villain, apparently.
Okay. I missed that. I didn't even catch that on my own.
Current NBA and WNBA players, I think.
Oh yeah, he teams up with current.
No, he's playing against AI. That's
yeah.
AI of those players.
Okay, so there's no more evil mountain or evil space mountains or anything like that.
I think there will be. I'd be kind of disappointed if there isn't some iteration of that.
The
like
Monstars better be in it.
Like maybe it's like a Monstar version of Klay Thompson or something.
Ooh.
Right? It's like Klay Thompson, but he looks like a Monstar.
Okay, we'll do this when Space Jam 2 comes out. We'll make our big predictions on it, but I want to throw one out right now. 100% that LeBron James is going to pin somebody to win the game, right? Like he did to Andre Iguodala, because LeBron is he's just so cheesy sometimes.
You know how in the original Space Jam, Jordan doesn't do the free throw line dunk, he does the full court line dunk.
Yeah.
He's going to do the same thing. Instead of doing a full court dunk, he's going to do a full court block.
Oh, that's a great call.
Where his arm's going to extend all the way to the blackboard.
Because that's what he's known for, right?
The chase down block.
Signature is the signature thing, right? Like LeBron, I don't like Steph Curry shooting threes from half court. Kobe, the fadeaway. Jordan, the fadeaway. Dirk, one leg. The one leg fadeaway. James Harden, step back three. What's LeBron? He's not known for, like, I guess his dunk, the most powerful dunk, but he's known for the chase down block.
Yeah.
So it would only be right if he does a chase down block to win the game.
No, it has to be. You're
Yeah,
right.
it has to be. Sometimes you got to keep it basic, right, for the simps. So that's why we're writing it.
Simp talking about simping.
Yeah, simping ain't easy.
Calling the kettle black. Sammy brings up a good point that I was bringing up earlier. Are we sure Bronny's even alive since LeBron got home from whooping his ass for smoking weed on Instagram Live?
Yeah, he lives in California.
But he's a minor. Deal. He's a minor. Huh? Isn't he still a minor?
I don't. So what? I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think smoking weed over there is a big deal.
I think the movie's going to get delayed, not because of COVID, but because they have to do reshoots with one of LeBron's other kids. They gotta edit Bronny out. We don't know that it's Bronny for sure, but it would only make sense for it to be Bronny, sense. Right?
And also, the Bronny stuff never went mainstream. It stayed on social media because the NBA shut it down right away.
That's a good point.
They shut it down.
It was only like jokes within like NBA Twitter.
Yeah. It didn't even leave NBA Twitter. It didn't even get to mainstream sports Twitter. It just stayed in NBA Twitter.
Yeah, probably so.
Right? And it was right before the final, so everyone was focused on basketball at that point. Now, if it was an off-season thing, it would have been a funny sports Twitter moment, but it stayed in NBA Twitter. And I think people realize it as well too. Like, it's a 16-year-old kid. What are we doing? Who cares?
I can't Raheel.
No, I would hate that if you were 16 and some of your business got aired out like that. And I know he did it to himself. And he probably doesn't care if he did put it on Instagram Live. Like, he probably doesn't give a damn, right? Like, and he probably has a great relationship with his parents. They're like, look, Bronny, if you're gonna do it, that's fine, whatever. Just make sure you're safe. You don't post that if you are really scared, right? Like, to me, that at least that's my reading from the outside looking in. So I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think him smoking weed on camera is a big deal.
So do you want to look over what it actually is? I think we got it mostly right.
Okay, do it. You got the whole synopsis? The alleged synopsis.
Right. We don't know if this is true or not. We kind of just rolled with it once we saw it.
Yeah, it could be Warner Brothers leaking it just to see like everyone's reaction to it. Like, hey, what do you guys think about this? Hey, let's just leak it real quickly, and if people like it, we'll move on. Kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog did, right? They put that trailer out and like, this is dog crap, and then they redid the whole thing, and it was the #1 grossing movie of the year.
So you do subscribe to the idea that original trailer was intentionally bad, like the animation in the original trailer was intentionally bad. So do I. Okay. So via Twitter, the synopsis reads as following. During a trip to Warner Brothers studio, NBA superstar LeBron James and his son accidentally get trapped within a world that contains all of the Warner Brothers stories and characters under the control of a malfunctioning, all-powered force named Ali, played by not Mahershala Ali, Don Cheadle.
Okay.
Wrong actor, no. With the help of Bugs Bunny, LeBron must navigate through a never-before-imagined world filled with iconic movie scenes and characters as they reassemble the Looney Tunes to rescue his lost son. Now, to get back home, LeBron and the Tunes have to unravel Ali's mysterious plan and win an epic basketball game against digital gamified super versions of the NBA and WNBA biggest stars as the entire world watches.
Whoa. So basically it's Avengers Ultron.
It sort of is. It sounds like it sort of is Avengers. They gotta go find Taz.
Like, that's what it sounds like. Is Ultron got out of control, and now we gotta mess up Ultron. That's all it is. And then he becomes a best friend of ours. It's all good then. So
Don Cheadle is going to be homies with Bugs Bunny at the end of it, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Here's some really good comments. Hefe says, this is basically something Bronny thought of when he got high and told LeBron.
So they're going to have to reshoot it.
That's so stupid. You're right. When it wasn't mainstream, because we definitely would have gotten Laura Ingraham or Tucker Carlson talking about LeBron being a bad dad. Absolutely, that would have happened. So I'm mixed about it.
I hope this is the actual plot of the movie. That's what I want it to be.
Okay, last thing.
And it would make sense because remember those like, was it like pictures or what was it that we saw of like the Jim Carrey mask
Yeah,
on set, Pennywise on set? Like we were like, what the hell? Like why is this part of
yeah,
the
that
Space
does
Jam
make. You're
movie?
right. It does make sense.
That all of that stuff came out last year, and it was actual pictures of them. So
Hmm.
I think this is real.
What other Warner Brother properties are there that like could make a sneak peek? We'll do that when Space Jam comes out.
Yeah, no,
Like,
or when we're not already running late. But
yeah,
that's a
good
good.
point.
That's I mean Warner Brothers is huge, so.
Yeah. Okay, you want to do something on Hit Boy real quickly.
Do you remember a good old Hit Boy? Kanye kind of bit a lot of his stuff during the Watch the Throne era.
I don't. That's what I was gonna ask you. I didn't want to read up on Hit Boy. Explain it to me like I'm 5 years old, as Michael Scott would say.
Okay, Hit Boy. He makes the part of the song that goes boom 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 boom. He's a pretty popular producer. I think one of his bigger songs was Trophies, the Drake song. He made the
Okay.
beat to that, and he's kind of had, maybe it's not a resurgence, maybe it was just my own ignorance, but in the past 2 months he's completely produced front to back two really good albums, and I don't know. Again, it might be apparently he also produced most of Big Sean's album, which I didn't listen to because I don't like Big Sean. But he's kind of like the face of hip hop production right now, and no one's really talking about it. He's produced two.
What are the other albums that he produced that you liked?
So he produced Nas's latest album. God, what's it called? The King's Plague, is it? Let me look it up real quick. I have it on my Apple Music.
The 2021?
The one that just came out, that was all over King's Disease. That was all over the. If you watched any of the bubble playoffs, you heard the music because they were bumping.
Really?
They were bumping in and out of commercial breaks with it all the freaking time.
Okay.
And just recently, "Burden of Proof" by an artist named Benny the Butcher. He's a newer rapper who frequents with Freddie Gibbs, who we've talked about before when he was beefing with DJ Academics. Produced both of those albums front to back. Did a really good job. They're really well produced albums. And I don't know. Give the man his roses.
Okay, perfect. I thought he died or something. I was like,
no.
Who's Hit Boy? I was like,
no,
did I miss something
die.
here? Okay, there you go. So give him some props.
God, what song did he produce? One of the Watch the Throne songs that ended up getting scrapped.
Really, Hit Boy, Watch the Throne, because I will go down that rabbit hole for sure. He produced N-Words in Paris.
There was another one that what was the song that was the original single and then got scrapped?
That's My B Word.
I think it might have been that, but that ended up being on the album. Yeah. So he produced a lot of a lot of.
Did that song leak? Or no?
It might have. I mean, that was what, 2014? No, before that.
Yeah, before that.
2012?
2012, 2011.
Yeah, I mean, that was 10 years ago. I don't really remember. But yeah, I mean, he's produced the hell out of both of those albums. They're really well produced, really good beats. Apparently,
songs. Yeah, I'm trying to see what was left off.
Sammy says the Hit Boy and Jay Park collab goes hard AF. I don't know who Jay Park is. Are you familiar with Jay Park?
I am not. Man, like I'm looking up all this, so that's what I'm gonna be doing after the show. Is trying to find all these songs that weren't on Watch the Throne, which I don't think gets enough credit for being a great album.
I think Kanye was bad on that album.
It was a great album. I'm not.
I think Jay-Z absolutely cooks the hell out of him on most songs. Really? Kanye was really bad on that album. This was coming off the Carter 3 and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So maybe my expectations were so jaded because the Carter 3 was not a good album. And obviously My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is what we think it is. We've talked about that album plenty of times. But Kanye was really bad on that album, in my opinion.
So he's saying it looks like his biggest one was N-Words in Paris. That was it.
I'm trying to remember the original single to Watch the Throne.
Okay.
But
Well, we'll think about it. We'll research it. I'm sure we'll come across it. I'm trying to think. Man. All right. Well, Hit Boy. We're ending on
Ham.
that.
Ham. I'm
He
about to
did that
go
one?
ham. I think so. If not, it was the guy that used to produce for Chief Keef.
Ham was. I thought it was
Bad.
a
I
single.
hated that song.
You hated it? Oh man.
I hated that song.
I hated it at first, but man, after I listened to like now when I put it on, it's like
It makes you go ham.
It's so good. The strings on that. Woo.
Lex Luger was who produced Ham, which was a guy who worked with Chief Keef a lot.
Hefe says Raheel reading the song titles sounded like Ben Shapiro reading the Cardi lyrics. What do you want me to say here, Josh? What do you want me to say here? Okay. Do you want me to lose my part-time job? I don't want to do that.
He's trying to make you lose your Amazon affiliate links.
Man.
He said I'm wilding. What am I doing? I'm not doing anything.
I don't know what you. Hey, you didn't do anything. Okay, we are done. Thank you everyone for listening. Make sure you support us. Jose's on Twitter. Make sure you follow him at ParJ94. You can find all his stuff as well on there. You can find me on the following places. Of course, this podcast. Share it with a friend. Please share it with a friend. We're live every Monday, 8 o'clock or 8:30, just depending on our schedule. I like the 8 o'clock start because then we can go over and it's not too late. But around here, we'll follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We always tweet about it. You can get my daily sports updates on NTV Houston. You can watch Sports Spotlight on NTV Houston every Saturday at 5 p.m. where I link up with Pakistani Jose, a.k.a. Ali Khan Bajani.
Does he know you call him? You call him that?
No,
okay.
He doesn't.
That's what I thought.
He doesn't, but I will tell him next time. He's such a sweet kid, man.
He's so nice.
He's such a nice kid, man. And not a kid. He's a man now. He's a grown-ass man. He's always going to be a kid to me. And then you can watch No Layups Thursdays and Sundays with me and David Nuno, a.k.a. Older Jose.
Does he know you call me that?
Oh,
or you call him that?
No, he loves you, by the way.
Oh, I
love
him.
That Jose kid's, but he's good. I was like, yeah, Jose's awesome. And he's
I love him as well.
He'll always call you Jose kid, so don't worry.
That's fine.
He doesn't change. He's not going to stop calling you kid.
Hey,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying your impression of him was really good.
Yeah.
That is how he talks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Stay